Hello and welcome back to yet another episode of Gameable Audio. I am your host, Kristoffer Schenström, and today we are having the episode 13 and we're going to talk about the game Evil Wizard together with the composer Haakon Davidsen. Hello and welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me on your show.
This is actually a very excited time because, first of all, Evil Wizard has recently been released. I mean, it had a release this year. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the specific release date, but having a composer working on a game that is so freshly released is super exciting. How do you feel about having the soundtrack released now for everybody to listen to?
It's a great feeling to actually to release something that we have been working on for so long, and there's so much work that has led up until the release. So it's a great to release it for everybody to listen to and for everybody to play the game. So it's a great feeling.
It was excited to actually play the game. I usually make sure to play through the games for composing episodes because I would like to have a more hands-on kind of feeling when I'm talking to you from the perspective that I've actually been a player of the game, not just a listener of the soundtrack itself, even though listening to the soundtrack has been quite a feat and a fun time for me. But first of all, in order to get a little bit more of a grasp on who you are, where did you start out before you actually started, like, what's your origin story, so to speak?
Yeah, just like the superhero origin story.
Yes.
I started by playing guitar. Like that is my primary instrument, and I at one point studied guitar for performance. But
if I remember correctly, this was you were quite young when this happened as well, when you started studying, etc., right?
Yeah, I was 19, I think 18 or 19. So it was just after videregående, which is the final part of Norwegian school system. So I just after that I started studying music, and during the third year of the school, we were having a bachelor task where we were supposed to do something that of our own choice, and we could, for example, make a concert or make an album or make an EP or do anything like what we felt would be natural for us to do. So I thought, like, yeah, maybe I should compose a small album just with my own songs, compose music specifically for this bachelor degree, and see what I can make of it. And during that, I just felt like composing was my thing to do.
During the studies that you were doing here, considering, I guess you were composing while doing these 3 years of studies as well, but were you testing out a lot of different other things as well? So you actually knew more hands-on that, hey, composition is what I want to do?
No,
or how did the studies go?
We had a different kind of lectures with arranging and composing, so we kind of had a little bit of that through the years. But it was focused mainly on performing. But okay. I just felt it just felt natural to just gradually go towards more composing. So I composed an EP with just guitar music, but I wanted to make instrumental music. Because I'm a guitar player, and that was that was natural. So, but during that process, I just felt like, wow, this is just so much more rewarding than just playing.
Just performing.
Just performing other people's music. Well, that is fun too. But it was more rewarding to to compose my own music and to record it and hear it being played back, and also doing it with my own music, not other people's music, but the music that I composed myself. So I just did that a lot more the last year, and because of since I was doing instrumental music, I felt like maybe I could try to do some film music, because that would be fun.
Yeah.
Because I was always enjoyed films, and I thought, yeah, maybe that's the way to go.
Yeah.
But it was difficult to find directors that was open to someone that hasn't been doing any film music before. So it was really hard to get in contact with anybody.
Yeah. Did you do something on your own end? Like, for example, some composers usually take some already known clip and they add their own music and sound to it in order to say, like, "Hey, look at it, how good," or how I can do this kind of thing. Did you do anything like that?
Actually, I took a couple of films that we recorded ourselves, because I lived with a group of friends when this happened, and we just, sometimes you just film what you're doing in when you're together, just like hang out and stuff.
Random shenanigans.
Yeah, just random stuff. And I sometimes composed a little bit of music for that. And also I remember we were hiking in the forest, and we found like this old abandoned hut that looks like nobody has been there for 100 years. So we kind of filmed it a bit there, and we made it like a horror movie.
Ooh.
So I just composed a little bit for that, and just practicing, but nothing like. I don't think I had the plans to share that to anybody outside of my friends. But
it was more something for you and your group of friends.
Yeah, just and kind of to practice myself, to see how it could be done.
Yeah.
And I have always been a huge gamer. So after I could not, after I couldn't find any directors for movies, I thought like maybe games is the way to go, because I've always been more of a gamer than a movie watcher. But I didn't knew that you could do that was a thing you could do. But turns out that a lot of people can do that. So I started to just get to know people, and with gaming, it's easier to get in contact with developers, because much more is you can do much more by yourself online, and chatting with other people.
Just networking overall, business to business, but also as an individual.
Yeah, and with a movie, you need like a full team to make a movie, but you can be a one-person development team and make a game. So it's much more personal and closer, and that felt better.
Well, that's good. So considering that you kind of wanted to start out, you wanted to do composition, you started looking into having some sort of filmmaker in order to kind of get your foot into some sort of business here. You found it hard to kind of get at finding people, etc. I guess going for somebody that is a director, you need to go through a lot of kind of agents and so on in order to just grab a hold somebody that actually has any power to say, hey, yeah, you can work at this in this movie or something like that. But as you said, working with developers instead is so much easier. But considering like when you start like, hey, I want to compose and you want to go for video games since you've been such a gamer, how easy was it for you to start actually integrating yourself and getting to know people that actually work for games? Was that an easy task for you, or was that somewhat of a challenge?
I would say it definitely was a challenge. My like my change towards game music, or like when I actually really did a huge push for it,
Mm.
that happened at the same time as COVID started.
Oh,
Yes, exactly. And
yeah.
then suddenly the whole world was closed and all concerts were canceled, and
Mm.
I couldn't play live anymore. So uh, that was more like that was a push that I needed, because I thought uh, I have to, if I'm not giving everything I can now,
Mm.
I will regret it for the rest of my life. I just have to do it now,
Yeah.
and to just to meet people, to compose, to work really hard, because
Mm. Mm.
this time is not gonna come back. Now I can stay at home like every day of the week. So I just have to do it now.
Yeah.
And so that started into I just actually pretty much just networked a lot, like
Mm. Mm.
every day I talk to new people, and I try to talk to the people I already knew, and
Mm.
to not just spread my name out, but also
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
make friends that
Okay.
so the
So in,
people that I worked with
mm.
could see me also as a friend, but also as a coworker.
Yes, I understand. So, in consideration to this, like everything kind of happened as soon as COVID hit as well. Considering of how you could, for example, change the amount of way or the way of how you can reach people, as many others people started working from home, for example. Maybe people were able to get more online, be more there on media, etc. How was it for you? What was the sort of media that you chose that kind of worked for you in the end? To find
Uh,
these people.
yeah, I used Reddit a lot, and
Mm?
I also started using Twitter a lot more
Than you were
than I
before.
had, yeah, than I've been doing before. So uh, I've Reddit worked great for just pushing yourself into other people's faces, and but Twitter worked really well to meet new people, and to kind of see their faces
Mm,
with a
mm,
little profile icon. You can it felt felt more personal when you started talking to people there.
yeah.
And I also met a lot of other musicians and composers, which I have been talking to and also met in real life
Mm, mm.
later, that I can consider friends.
That
So
is.
I felt that uh, Twitter worked good for just showcasing myself.
Mm, mm. So, considering as a musician as well, I know for developers it's very important to have a portfolio. I think it's even more important for a composer or a musician to have a portfolio as well. So, considering when COVID hit as well, were you already did you already have a portfolio that you were happy with, or did you feel like, oh, I can be better, I can elevate myself to the next level, and want to keep improving my work by composing and by letting your music out there.
I felt that I had a pretty good amount of music,
Mm, mm,
because from when I started composing and until COVID hit was a
mm,
couple of
mm.
years. So I had been composing between those years. So I had a lot of
Yep.
music that could kind of work like as game music, but
Mm, mm,
I didn't have that much like gameplay where I could also show the music together. I didn't
mm,
have that
mm.
many jobs before that,
Yeah.
so I waited a bit to do those, those the demo reels
Mm.
when you show gameplay clips and music,
All
and
together. Yeah.
I waited a bit to make that until I had something that I was proud of, and
Mm,
felt like could showcase uh, what I can do. So yeah, it was more show making, like SoundCloud was great before,
Yes.
and it was great to showcase your own music. I used that to more like a playlist of, this is kind of different styles I can do, and this
Mm-hmm.
is kind of different kind of music that I have been doing.
Mm-hmm.
So more like an audio demo reel.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So, considering you were talking a little bit about style series as well, or at least you said it once, and of course I'm snapping up on it. So,
Yeah.
considering you as a composer, do you feel like you have a niche of a style that you like to perform and to compose around, or are you more like the kind of adjustive composer that likes to work on new genres, new styles all the time in order to like elevate yourself? How do you feel about composition in that sense?
Oh, that's a tricky one. Because it's easier to define other people's work than yourself, because you don't know what you're doing yourself, but you know what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
No, I I am doing like different styles. I do a lot of orchestral stuff. I
Yes.
think that's what I'm doing most. But I am also doing like folk and rock, and
Mm-hmm.
also been doing electronic danceable stuff and horror stuff too. So I feel that I can get away with a lot of things. But
Mm-hmm.
I like to work on different genres, because I never felt that I belong into one style.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I've been hearing, that other people say when they describe the music, they always say cartoony,
So,
which is fine.
yeah.
Uh,
When I hear
uh,
cartoony, I'm thinking very much about like a playful soundtrack or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. I think the animated series of Batman. I think
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
is what a lot of people compare my music to. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I just watched that as a kid, and I haven't watched it and I know those, so I don't know if it's similar. But I think like a bit dark, maybe like cartoony Danny Elfman
Yeah.
kind of style. That is
Mm.
what people say.
It's an
I'm
interesting style. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
this
almost
is,
like
yeah,
a touch between a little bit of a gloom, but also melancholic sometimes, but still
yeah,
very effective and epic to some extent.
yeah. I feel like it can balance on a thin line between
Mm.
fun and mad. I
But
think
do you agree
that is
yourself
what
with this, or
that. Sorry, that is what I've been hearing. I'm not I'm not gonna say that is the definition, but that is
yeah?
what other people think.
Yeah. But in consideration, if you have so many people saying that kind of thing and kind of have similar feelings about your music, don't you feel like you should resonate with it a little bit more than you actually do, for example?
Uh,
Or
yeah,
do you feel like this undefined by yourself? Like, no, I can't be really. These are like super duper guys.
yeah. I think maybe I should do. Maybe
Mm,
that's a smart. Maybe that's a smart thing to do. But also I am the kind of person that get addicted to something a
mm,
lot, super addicted for 2 weeks, and then then I don't do anything more. When the movie, the Bohemian Rhapsody,
yeah.
the the movie about Queen.
Yes.
When I saw that, I listened to Queen like 2 weeks just straight.
Frantically.
Yeah, just Queen, only Queen. And after I don't think I've listened to Queen after that ever since. And with the movie about Elton John.
Mm, mm.
Just the same thing. I listened to Elton John so much after, and I haven't been listening. I haven't been listening to him much before, but I listened to him a lot after I saw that movie, and then I haven't listened to him a lot again. So I think that I just I get addicted to something, and then I want to do something else.
Yeah.
I think it's difficult and boring to just stay at the one thing. I want to do everything the entire time.
But I think this is actually starting to give me some interesting questions as well. But I think it's way more interesting if we actually start to dive into the soundtrack that we're going to discuss today. Don't you agree?
Yep.
Yeah. So let's actually introduce a little bit about the game we're going to talk about, so people know a little bit more about the game, and then hopefully can add a little bit more surrounding to the music we're going to listen to from this game. So Evil Wizard is the game name, and it is an action RPG, I would deem it. They only write RPG by themselves, but I most definitely say it's an action RPG game that is featuring a whole lot of humorous dialogue. It has some Metroidvania-like design, and best of all, it has some element-bending magics in it. You basically take the role of this evil wizard who gets thrown out of his own castle by the heroes. And he basically needs to reclaim his throne, walking around his own citadel or castle in order to do so. The game here, it was developed by the studio Rubber Duck Games, which is located in Uruguay, so in southern parts of South Africa. Southeastern, if it's going to be more specifically. And the game was, as I said in the beginning of this episode, released earlier this year. It was on the 25th of May 2023. And this is also the first game released that I can see from this studio. So it's super interesting to see this team. You are also added onto their homepage as one of the developers or composer in this case. Where you on this game worked both with the music and the sound effects for this game. How does it feel to work with sound effects as well? Is that also something just super fun to compose?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, because it's you have to think about sound in a different way than you would do with composing.
Yes.
And but after you've been doing it for a while, you start hearing. You can like open your fridge and take something out, and just what was that? That was an interesting sound. That could have been used for doing something like, or I was making the sound effect for a raft. You know those on the water. That
yes.
I was supposed to make sounds for that for when it's sailing, and I took a garden hose and just recorded 10 times me watering the plants.
Yeah.
And when I changed pitch and stuff with those sounds, it made a pretty decent rafting sound. So you started hearing different sounds that you can use, and that is really fun. And combining sounds and making a totally new sound from anything.
Yeah. This is so crazy. I usually talk about these things as well with some friends sometimes that doesn't really know how all the sounds are being made. I love watching a lot of behind the scenes from movies and so on, talking about sounds. But for me, who also have been working a little bit for one game as an audio director, it is super interesting. It's like, hey, we need a sound for coins. How do you make a coin sound?
Yeah.
and they never come from the areas they come from the areas you least expect.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, like for coins, you can use like keys, for example, to just smack keys together, and it's so weird when you tear that thing down and hearing what you're actually listening to.
And there's so much layering as well. Sometimes you're like, with these keys I can make magical things happen. And you're like, oh yeah, right, they're keys, they're metal, you're just banging together, and you just take them, it sounds like, and then you just pitch, you add some other layers. It's like, why does this sound like a ghost now? I'm scared.
Exactly.
So it's just super interesting in consideration to this. Also, you had a lot of different other musicians who joined in on different instruments, etc.
Yeah.
I think it's better for us to go through a little bit so people have the music like in their mind, so we can talk a little bit more about who joined in as well on these tracks. So I think we can just take them as we move along. So I think that might be the best choice. So with that said, I think it's time for us to roll the first track of the week. And that is the track called The Main Hall. There we go with the calm little melodies from The Main Hall. And this is also one of the main themes you will hear in this game, because this track will be played in the hub area of this game, where you talk with different NPCs. You will power up your character, and you will also leave your trusty little friend his duck collection. So you will hear this track a lot of times. So my little thought on this, because every time when I'm listening to this, and every time I'm talking to the composers, I'm always like focusing on the track. I'm having my headphones on, and I listen really calmly and thorough on the songs multiple times, and I write down some smaller thoughts that I have usually when I listen to these. So this is a very calm and nice track, but still comes with some curiosity in its melody, and I really adored that part. But at some point as well, it kind of comes in with a twist, and I kind of like that as well. It felt like that twist really fitted well within this track. I usually don't find twists in tracks too like comfortable, if that's going to be like a good like explanation on it. But for some reason in this track, I really adored this one. But in consideration to The Main Hall here as well, I need to ask you, because I'm going like bonkers on this, but this is a slowed down version of the main theme of the game, right?
That's true. That's correct.
Yeah, so I was not going mad, at least. Because listening to the main theme, it has a little bit more oomph to it, but I was so sure. I didn't have the option to listen to them side to side, but I felt like this is just a slow-paced version of it, and it gives a really good theme of, because the main theme of the character kind of has the main theme with the main hall, so it kind of made sense to me. So in consideration to this, then we would like to talk a little bit more about the composition you did on this one, but also just so we have it said, which people that kind of joined in and helped you out with the final work of this track. So on oboe, we have Dan Valdron. On flute, we have Miguel Vargas. On clarinet, we have Sasko Tamelkoski. Bassoon, Javier Cerceda, or Cerqueda, maybe, depending on where you live. And on violin, Irina Markovic. So, considering the main hall, how did one start out with this? What was the process?
Just like you said, this this is a variation of the main theme.
Mm,
I composed the main theme like at the very beginning of the development, or at when I joined, to like make it a general feel for how the soundtrack would sound. So when they said we're making an area like that works like a hub where you will
yes.
that every area connects to. So I thought that's a good opportunity to have the main theme being played, but in a different way. So we did different through different ideas on how the actual area should work. Um, but I just felt like uh, since the main theme kind of connects the soundtrack together, it would make sense to use the main theme on an area that connects all other areas together.
Yeah.
So yeah, I decided to use the main theme there, but just a slowed down version, because there's no enemies in this area. There's you are supposed to just relax and talk to NPCs and upgrade your gear and kind of have a different mindset when you're there. So I slowed down the main melody and did just like a tiny variation of the rhythm. So it felt a bit different, but very similar to.
Considering or comparing to the main theme that you hear in the menu, this one feels very serene. Like you actually can relax a little bit to it.
Yeah, that was the purpose, that the main theme like should be powerful and adventurous and like action oriented. But this one is I tried to think would the evil wizard do when he's in the main hall, and then I think he would just walk around and in his own little thoughts and maybe yell at people or yeah, just walk around. So I think like that that was the purpose for that track.
Yeah. So in consideration to this as well, utilizing the main theme for this one, you said that you worked a little bit more on the main theme first. So was the main theme actually the first track for the soundtrack?
It was one of the first. To be honest, I can't remember exactly who was first, but
Yep.
I remember at least we did a couple of just short ideas at the very
Yeah.
beginning, and this one came at least one of the first tracks.
Okay. Considering as well, in order to just get a little bit more of a time frame into this. So when you joined in, and at what time did you join in for the project itself, if you are able to tell anything about it?
Yeah, the game was it was in a playable state, I would say, but not anything like you would in the final version that you can play now.
Yeah.
But
Are we talking earlier than 2022, for example, or?
I think it's 2020, I think.
Okay.
So it was the first area that the Dark Forest that you played in the game. That was it was not done, but something similar was created then.
Okay.
So it was pretty playable, and I remember I could also be able to play a bit for that part, but it was nowhere near the end project. But it was pretty playable, I would say, for at least to be able to play and for me to get a grasp of what kind of game this was.
So when you first got in contact with this studio or the people within the studio, and you were talking a little bit more about it, like, hey, I'm a composer. Maybe it was like, hey, I would like to compose for your game, or maybe it was the other way around. They're like, hey, we want you to compose for a game. So how did the first conversations kind of go? Like, were you able to play it first and then like, hey, yeah, I want to compose for this, or what was the first initial kind of take on it?
It was just one guy working on
Mm,
it back then, which was Diego, and he created the character and like the idea of the game.
mm,
And I got in contact with him because he posted an early photo of the game,
okay. Mm,
and I said like. It looks really fun. It reminds me kind of like retro games, but
mm,
also new, like the classical indie style you often see these days.
yeah, yeah.
It had like a mix of the old and the new,
The new
uh,
new retro.
new retro. So I talked a bit to him
Mm,
to just hear um, what he was working on, and
mm.
I just asked like directly. I'm a composer, and do you need music? If so, I can make it. I would love to be able to work with you.
Mm, mm.
And he said, yeah, we had one, but he quit. So it's yeah, of course, yeah. If you want, then you can join.
That is nice. So when you joined in and you started playing a little bit to get a better grasp of what the hell have you given yourself in on? Did you have any reference materials from the developers? Like, hey, we want the music to sound like this, or oh, we want you to strive for this. Are you confident in this area, etc.?
Actually, Rubber Duck Games has been super nice and super easy to
Mm,
work with. They haven't had much. They have like a couple of guidelines,
yeah.
but other than that, they have been like very easy to work with. They just say, "We have this thing. We did music, and you can
Mm,
do your thing."
that's nice.
Yeah, so they have been super good to work with.
But it's
Uh,
really good that you found somebody that kind of you get your free hands to work on a product, and they're actually very happy with the sound you're putting forth as well. So because I've heard about these situations when you have a composer and somebody employs them and to work on the music and the soundtrack, and then they're going in like micromanaging them all the time. So the composers kind of gets alienated. It's like, are we really doing my music or are we doing your music?
oh yeah, that can happen. Oh, definitely. But
Mm,
that never happened here. So I'm very happy to have worked with
mm,
these guys. They I remember at the very beginning
mm,
they
mm.
said we want music, but not chiptune music. That is the only
Okay.
thing.
Mm, mm.
So I said, yeah, maybe orchestral then, and they said, yeah, and then that was it. So they have been excellent to work with, and
Mm.
super
So,
supportive, and yeah,
yeah.
I don't have anything to complain about.
Yeah, I understand. Also, in the beginning, you said you did some different kind of tests as well. Were the different tests on different kind of styles or genres to try out for this game to see what suited the best? Or
Yeah.
how did you experiment in the beginning in order to kind of find the style for the game? Because I'm noticing within this full soundtrack that it has a lot of similarity, like a red thread going through everything as well.
Oh
Nothing
yeah.
really sticks out super much, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I remember I created like a 10-second battle track
Mm-hmm.
um, to mostly just to hear if they liked the orchestral style,
Mm.
And they said that worked very very well. So it was kind of decided early on that orchestral would be the way to go.
Yeah.
And also with the thematics, with an evil wizard in the castle, and it felt very natural to just do orchestral.
Could it be because of movies, for example, that a lot of evil characters and so on usually stands out more from like I got this feeling of Dracula, for example,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
with the music.
yeah. I think so. And I also try to think what kind of music would he listen to, the evil
Mm.
wizard, and I think like he would be a classical music guy,
Yeah.
definitely. I think so.
And considering also that we have a lot of different characters within this game, did you feel like you gave them their own kind of persona in the music as well?
Yeah, there's all bosses
Mm.
have their own kind of theme,
Yeah.
which also serves as also the
Yep.
theme for the area that they are in.
Yeah.
But there's also two NPCs that they have their own little theme.
And it's
Uh,
Vladimir.
yes, Vladimir. He's a great. I love that character. He's and I feel like we're moving towards other things now. But just stop
Yes.
me if you wanna if you wanna get back on. But I felt like Vladimir. They are neighbors, but he
Yes.
is a kind of I wanted because he's supposed to be a very funny character, and I wanted to every time that he comes in, I wanted to play. I wanted people to feel like, oh no, oh here comes, here is he again, and so I did a little jazz piece there
Yeah.
for him, like
Trust me, you
yeah.
succeeded in that.
Okay, great,
I
great.
know this when he came.
Yeah. That's great to hear. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
First of
because
all, he breaks through like the Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah,
yeah,
Vladimir's here.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was just so funny moment, and I wanted like he just would like bash it through the wall and just breaks down the wall, and it
Yeah.
just like the silly tune plays. Yeah, so yes, I wanted him to have a little different kind of style, so it sticks out more.
Mm.
That you will be you will have a laugh just when you hear he comes in.
Yeah.
And also there's the other guy which is Igor,
Yes.
and
Such a lovely guy.
yeah, that is that actually me that was voicing him.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah. I asked if I could voice him when they posted a picture of him. I said, that is me. I want him. Nobody's getting him.
How does it feel to voice act as well? I guess you haven't done much voice acting, or have
No,
you?
no, this is the first one.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I remember practicing a lot in my car when I was
Mm.
driving, just to try different voices.
Get the feeling right.
Yeah, exactly, to get the feeling get a feeling right that and find different things. Yeah, like, when you drive, you see things on posters and commercials, and
Mm-hmm.
you try to say that in the voice of that character. So I was doing a lot of that while I was driving, just practicing. But I never done it before,
Mm.
and it was a quite a fun experience.
Yeah. Do you feel like this is something you want to kind of continue with in the future? Hopefully, not maybe a fully like voice character, like voice actor and so on. But if you get the chance, would you like to do it again?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's fun,
Yeah.
but I think my ability stops at doing like short lines, just like hello, and then that's it. I think I'm not sure if I can be convincing for longer lines.
Yeah.
But
Is,
but
is, is,
I think it's if the project calls for it, then
You will step up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in consideration to that, because you talked about longer lines and so on, in this game you actually have just smaller voice lines for like every character that talks. Was this because of that? Because people might not do full lines, etc.
Most of the dialogue here is kind of like from Zelda, from the older games, when they say something or have like just make a sound. So I try to stick with that and to make
it's like an homage to some older.
Yeah, but I'm a huge Zelda fan. I had to just clear that out. And I always find it so fascinating that every character, they have so much personality, but they don't say anything. They just make sounds, but that still give them so much personality.
Yeah, definitely. But when we're talking about personality, I think it's time for us to go to the next track here, because the next track is in a place that has a lot of personality.
Definitely.
So the next track we're going to listen to here is the track called Outside in the Patio. And there we have it, folks, Outside in the Patio. So this was, in my opinion, a very slight track, but does have sections of being more bombastic together with the dark brass that we do here. But I'm also a little bit like unsure. Is there like a cello we hear or something? Or am I going mad? I'm not an expert on instruments, so I'm just wildly shooting from my hips here.
Oh, yeah, but are you talking about like the low brass thing?
Yeah, you have like a and I don't know if it could be the brass doing that, but for some reason it sounds like a string instrument to me.
I am not sure what part you're referring to.
So I'm listening right now to like it's like the middle part, I would say. About 1 minute in.
Oh yeah, that.
Dun, 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 dun. So it kind of comes in like a dark background in the track.
Oh yeah, there's definitely some cellos and some basses. They're like the pizzicato. I think that's
okay.
The one you're referring to. When they're plucked the strings and not doing the bow, but
okay,
just plucking it.
But in this track also that accompanied you was on flute Miguel Vargas again, and we have on both oboe and English horn Dan Waldron. Considering when you have these musicians on, I think this is an excellent question to just talk about right now as well. How is it to work with other musicians when you're doing these compositions as well, especially for a track where you basically put everything together and put it into a video game?
Oh, it's always fun to work with the humans when you're composing and recording. Because even though samples are great,
they're becoming better and better.
Yeah, definitely. And there's stuff that you cannot hear if it's real or samples. But there's something with like the phrasing and the just the sound of the instrument. That always just feels so great. When you have been composing and using samples, and then you hear it being played live by someone, it's really fun and just feels kind of surreal actually. Even still, I mean, I've been doing it a lot, but it still feels pretty surreal that someone plays something you have composed.
Considering as well, for everybody that did join in as accredited musician for these, is these people that you've been working like eye to eye with, or is everything online, or has it been like a combo of both of them?
It's everything has been online. A couple of them are my friends, like online friends.
Yeah.
And there's also Musiversal. That's a service that lets you book studio musicians, and they record on Zoom while you're there.
Okay.
And you can say, play it again, but play it more light or anything. And you can communicate directly with them.
So you're like you're sitting in the studio and they're in the booth recording, kind of like that, but you're doing it on Zoom instead.
yeah, exactly. It's just like that, but online instead.
Yeah. I guess this has become so much easier as well. Together with the internet, people are getting better microphones at home, so it becomes more convenient not being in a super high-end studio anymore. How do you feel about the technology going forward? And now you can sit in a Zoom call and actually get like high quality audio files out of this.
I think it's great, and the equipment that we can use is getting cheaper, so it's easier to start. I think it's a fun time to fun time to be alive in. That it can be a part of like a shift in the industry from everything has to be local, and now you can do the exact same thing but online.
Yeah.
I think it's fun to be a part of that now.
Have you met any hardships with this though? Like if you're getting something that you need to adjust or something like that, is it hard to go back to people? It's like, hey, no, I need it adjusted, or do you usually work with something you already paid for and then adjust from there? How is the usual kind of way when you find something that is not fully working, you think you can tweak it better? Do you usually work it by yourself, or do you get back to this person?
It can be if there's people that you haven't been working with before, and they might not be a good fit for what you're doing, but you only realize that after everything is done.
Yeah.
So there's been a couple of times when I have had music recorded, and it could be noise in the recording, or not a good recording in general, or if it's not played how I imagine it would be played. Then I sometimes I have to go back, but people are usually very very easy and supportive when it happens, and they just want to do as good as they can.
Yeah.
And usually it's no problem at all. When I remember when we recorded the main theme, it was recorded and it worked fine in the session, but afterwards there was just something. The notes were perfect and everything was right, but it wasn't like how I wanted it to be played.
Yeah.
And I asked him if we could re-record, and he just did it like this day after. And it was very 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 easy to do that. I think there's a good thing about the internet recording and online session now, that you don't have to come to them or they have to come to you. They can just do it at home, and that's easier and faster for everybody.
Yeah. So when these things do happen, for example, I guess there's a real reason. You said you're playing guitar yourself, but considering, do you play any other instrument yourself?
Yeah, I like. I think it's fun to try to learn new instruments. So I play. At least I have a couple of instruments. I kind of say. But I do play. I teach guitar and bass, so I feel like pretty
Confident in those.
Yeah, I think so. But I also play ukulele and mandolin.
Okay.
And
I'm pretty sure I've seen these in one of your cover videos. I think the Banjo-Kazooie, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I also run a YouTube channel where I cover mostly video game music.
Yeah. A lot of nice covers.
Yeah, thank you. It's I want to have a channel. That is just for fun, just to force me to practice and force me to think creatively.
Develop as well, right?
Yeah. Develop and get better at mixing, and it's a kind of like a challenge for me, but it's not much pressure because everything I do it for myself.
So it's kind of more of an outlet for yourself than where you can just share what you love and adore.
Yeah, something fun to do in the free time, and to and also to since I can upload it as well. It's people are. It's easier to get feedback for what you're doing, and it feels like more like a portfolio for myself.
Yeah.
So I do that, and the challenge of that channel is to play everything myself and not use samples for anything. Everything has to be
100% legit.
Yes, exactly, and
that is awesome.
Yeah, I think that's. This is a good challenge for me, and it's fun to share.
What is the latest challenge that you had so far?
For the channel?
For the channel, and most likely, I would like to ask specifically about an instrument that you challenge yourself with.
Oh yeah. I recently posted. I think it was 2 weeks ago, 1 week or 2 weeks ago. They released a remake of Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life, and I did a little cover of one of the tunes there. So the main challenge there was to just finish it on time before the game was releases. that was the main challenge there. But now I am doing a little cover of Pikmin.
Ooh, okay,
yeah. Yes, they are releasing Pikmin 4. I think it's later this month or like at the end of July.
Actually, totally missed that they're releasing a fourth game now.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god!
If I can
even call myself a gamer.
If I can be completely honest, I haven't played any of the Pikmin games myself.
I mean, you can enjoy just the music. It took me a while before I started playing them. I knew of them, but I didn't own every game. I actually started getting these when much later when I had my Wii and so on. I even had the Wii U before I got the first Pikmin 2 game for Wii.
yeah, exactly. I think it's that's a good thing with the video game music is that you are able to take part of it anywhere. You don't have to play the game, but you can revisit things with the music.
Definitely. And that is the most magical thing about it. Listening to a track This is kind of what I like. I would like to make like a comparison here, because when you're watching a movie and you're listening to this epic track that you're experiencing this movie with, you're having this epic moment of the scene, if it's an action scene, chase scene, or whatever. But every time you're listening to that track, then you will see the same scene. Everybody will see the same scene.
Yeah.
But if you're taking a video game track, everybody is most likely, unless it's a scripted event, is going to have a different kind of feeling or experience to this track as well.
Yes, so that's a very good point, and I think it's because of the movie music is so linear,
Scripted.
so scripted. So everything that happens is at a certain point. But I think so. You remember that scene, but in a video game, you remember the feeling of being somewhere.
Yeah.
And also, I also noticed when I listened to things that I played years ago, I started to remember things I did outside of video game, but like I did at the same time when I played the game. So,
do you have any example?
There's stuff from Hitman I played one of those games when I was kind of when I got more into music and felt more confident in myself, that I can also be doing this. So there was one for I think it's the third Blood Money, Hitman Blood Money.
Yes.
That was I played that at the same time as when I felt more confident in myself, that I can do this too. And
that's nice.
I also always think that, and same with Splinter Cell. I remember when my mom and dad got divorced, I was playing that, but I was playing it at my mom's house. So I always think about that house when I hear the soundtrack. Music, so it kind of takes you back to a different time as well.
Are you happy to hear that they're making a remake or something as well for Splinter Cell?
Yeah. Oh, you would know. I'm so ready.
You're back at the house already. No?
Yeah.
So, just to get a little bit more perspective here, we haven't talked a little bit that much about this specific track. So, considering the music that or the melodies we're hearing here, outside in the patio is basically like this small little area, which feels like your backyard. To be honest, there's a lot of plants. You have a bridge. You have statues and so on. What was the thought of you like that? Oh, this melody kind of feels like this area.
This is for the most of the rest of the game is at your castle, but this is also at your castle, but like you said, like in your backyard. So I wanted it to not feel too dark, but I thought about or I imagined the evil wizard walking around in his backyard and being like grumpy, and there's now there's enemies and in your backyard. So I kind of imagine him being that like old grumpy guy, get out of my yard, like yelling to the young kids to get out. Yeah, like with a shotgun. So I imagine him doing that and just walking around and just being grumpy and making it like fun, but also when the tuba comes in, just I try to like represent him just walking his own thoughts and just like being like angry and just talking to himself and just swearing and while he's
fucking heroes.
yeah, exactly. I wanted to like to portray that kind of vibe to
So it's
that area.
it is interesting that you kind of want to make like a persona with the music. You kind of interpret the character in this sense of what he's doing in this area rather than what the area is doing to him. So it's very interesting to hear this process of yours as well.
Yeah, I think there's always like a personality of an environment, but also a personality of the music, and I think like the music can just help to create the personality of a character.
Definitely.
And I think everything like how I worked with this game was to make. I wanted like the melodies and the music to kind of be the ones they're portraying.
Because you have a quite kind of unique thing going on here because, well, you're in his castle. You're in the evil wizard's castle. So everything is as well.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I think it's a more interesting approach to work with too. Since you don't have to think about what could fit here from the outside, but what can fit here from the inside, like what is going on in this part of the game, and what is the character feeling. So it's a fun approach to just step outside of the box and think it the other way.
Yeah, and even though we're having this kind of old, well, we don't really know how old the evil wizard is. We're just assuming right now that he's an old grumpy guy, but I can tell from playing the game he is pissed off on everything.
yeah, he is.
He has anger issues. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
But it's a funny type of anger issues that it does have, which is kind of cute in its own sense of way.
Yeah, I think it's for like the kind of anger that's it's fun to see from the outside, that you can laugh of him.
But, I agree.
Yeah, because so you wouldn't like when you see people going mad on YouTube, and you kind of laugh of them.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
So with that kind of said thing for that specific area of expertise, I think it's time for us to head to the next thing, and we're actually going into a huge boss fight area right now, because the next 3 tracks we're going to listen to, we're going to listen to one by one. But the first one we're going out with is kind of setting the bar, and we will talk a little bit more about this game with this reference that we're going to listen to. So with that said, let's kick it on with The Beast Tamer. The Beast Tamer. Sounds so violent for some reason, but it's actually pretty cute.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, this is like the first boss that is very on the more comedical homage part. The Beast Tamer is a huge homage to Ash, the Pokemon Master. And considering that this is a battle and what is happening, well, I guess even the track here is going to have a Pokemon battle theme. I'm not even going to be surprised if you say yes to this.
Yeah, I think yeah, yes.
Yes. Well, because it literally sounds like a more modern Pokemon battle song for me. Well, this is the boss battle, and I just love how it feels with. It almost feels like it's a bit of a Spanish inspiration to this for some reason in certain sections of this, but it is a twist on an epic music style, but without having that true epic classic melody that you can usually hear, like boom, 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 boom. No, it reaches full potential, and very much so. This is an epic track. I really
you.
love this one.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was very fun to work on. Like you said, it's when you play the game or listen to this track, it's not difficult to understand that this is supposed to be like an homage to Pokemon. I hope it's pretty easy to hear that, and that was totally on purpose as well.
And I guess when you have these references, because within this game you can see homages and reference like everywhere. Even with the ducks you're collecting, every duck is like a version of another video game character or something in a popular culture. You can see so many references to like the Infinite Gauntlet. You can see the Plasma Blade from Halo, and well, there's so many different references in this game. I can't even keep up with all the references there is.
Yeah. Like I think there's so many. Like I think like almost anything
can be a reference.
Yeah, I think so. Like because
like
I've seen a couple of streams that when they're just playing through some dialogue.
Yeah,
and I see people like comment, "Oh, that's a reference from Jurassic Park." And I was like, "Wow, that's right. Yeah, I didn't notice that." So almost everything is a reference to something from popular culture.
Yeah. Considering from the musical perspective, I know it's usually harder to make homages and so on unless you make like a real cover, but it's hard to make covers and then put them into a game. Considering that you did make like a more Pokemon-inspired theme, did you have any sections within this track that were like a straight homage for like 5 seconds or something like that, like a small...
Yeah, definitely. Like for me, the definite Pokemon game is Pokemon Blue. So that is where
OG.
That's that's the one. And I kind of drew most inspiration from there because that is what I know the best, and I feel like for me that's a perfect Pokemon experience.
Yes. No, it was for me as well the first Pokemon experience I had.
Oh yeah. Like many, and I think that was what made so many people into Pokemon. It was those games because they felt so true to the anime.
Yeah, but for this kind of generation as well that grew up with Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, I mean, we had the TV series, we had the Pokemon cards, etc. So it was so much Pokemon at this point in time.
Yeah. It was crazy. Like I can't even imagine. That must for our parents. That must have been a nightmare to like try to learn all the names of the Pokemons and.
I mean, just listen to the Poker Rap a couple of times, right?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a definitely good one. But did you have any homages in the music to some of these references?
Oh yeah. I took like the most of this track is based around the ideas of like the musical theoretical ideas that are being used, like you mentioned Spanish music,
Yeah.
and they kind of use like that scale, that's Phrygian
Mm-hmm.
scale. So they use that a lot for the going one. If you I'm trying to not get too technical there, but if you play a chord on the guitar on one fret and you just move it one fret higher and
Yep.
you go back again, that
And
is
fret
kind of
is when you're moving up the neck of it, right?
yeah. So if you play a chord on the third fret and you move to the fourth fret and then back to the third again,
Yep.
that feels kind of like Spanish, and they use that a lot for Pokemon battle music. So I use those ideas of like a basis of the track, but also like on a bigger view of it. Many of the tracks they feel intense and like action oriented, but there's sometimes they just go into places when it's more like a shift when you think like, oh, I can do this. Let's get him. When it's not so much like it's not so much just action and just battling between, but it shifts more to like a mindset where when you think you can beat them, like let's go get him. So I use that also to like shift between those emotions when it's just action and when it's more positive and more positive energy to it.
Yep.
And there's also I had to use when the battle starts in the Pokemon games, you heard it little. I just had to use that. So there's some places when you can hear that, and also the it's a reference from Pokemon Stadium for this fourth part of this track.
Yeah.
That's the opening. I think it's opening of Pokemon Blue and Red, and also opening for Pokemon Stadium. So I just had to like use. It's not stolen because it's not the same, but it's definitely.
Exactly.
But you can.
It's a strong homage to it, and
you can recognize it, but without the exact same notes.
Exactly. But having Blue as a strong reference, did you ever listen to newer, more modern Pokemon music to see what have developed and how does it now actually sound in the more modern aspect?
Oh, yeah. I haven't played like the
Sword and Shield.
Yeah, Sword and Shield, and there came one after that as well, but I haven't played those. I always thought when I saw the trailers that I need to get back into these games, but every time there's something, they're good, but they're not like that good. They're like there's always something. It could have been better.
Yeah.
So I just there's I always like a second thought on those games, but I remember I played X and Y.
Yeah.
On my 3DS.
Yes.
And I remember that was really. I think it's really fun when you just start playing those games.
Yes.
So maybe I should just do it.
No, I adored X and Y. For some reason, that one felt more good. I tried to play Black and White, the first Black and White, but I actually stopped playing because I did not enjoy it. But then X and Y, I really adored the battles and everything again, and all the soul of the Pokemon.
Oh yeah, and it felt so fresh.
No, definitely
Shift. It felt like I remember saying that to my friend who also played it. Like this is how Pokemon battles should be. This is how it's done.
Yeah.
So I remember like I like that a lot.
For the soundtrack here as well, I wanted to just ask a little bit more specifically here. Of course, this is a boss battle, so I would understand this could be a longer track, but there's actually only 3 tracks that are longer, much longer than everybody else. It is this track that is almost 6 minutes. We have the elemental shifter, which is over 6 minutes, and then the end credits, which I also could understand why it's long, which is on 5 minutes. How
Yep.
come these tracks became so long, though?
Yeah, this is when you play the game, this boss fight, the Beast Tamer, he obviously has different kind of beasts or Pokemon, if you want. So the first part is to a Bulbasaur kind of beast.
Yeah, usually inspired.
Yeah. And then it goes to more to Blastoise kind of type, and then the Charizard type.
At the
and
end.
then at the end, there's everybody, and also the trainer joining in the fight. So this was my idea to have the same melody, but every time a new beast comes in the battle, then the music changes a bit. So when it's more light with the Breed Bulbasaur, and with Blastoise comes in, it's a bit more hectic, but he's this type of beast is an ice monster. So it's not like a water like we do see with Blastoise.
It's just frozen water.
Yeah, it's frozen water. So I tried to like use higher pitched violins and then the Charizard beast comes in, and it's
Fire.
it's fire, and it's more dark, and it's doing halftime from the music.
Yeah.
And just like more powerful and more darker. And then there's the last part, which I tried to like summarize everything into one part.
I guess that could be kind of hard when something is more high pitched, something is more dark, and something is light.
Yeah, I'm I'm gonna say that it was really hard to do this track, because there's
Did they have to make any sacrifices in order to get them together?
just my sanity.
Okay, yeah.
No, but
we all sacrifice something, right?
Yeah. But I think it was like I remember doing these tracks like just after each other. I think let's say I spent 2-3 weeks on all 4 parts.
Yeah.
And my mind was just like going crazy at the end there. So I because I felt like everything everything sounded like Pokemon, but I wasn't sure if it was Pokemon. Like I stole anything, so I had to just to check everything and to kind of balance it between between what I want to do and also not actually stealing anything, but just like homaging it.
Exactly. No, I think you did really find a good kind of section to go in where you have the homage, but it feels like it's not copy pasted music.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
So for the version we can hear today with the Beast Tamer and that people can find on Spotify, this is the summarized version with all the different sections for all 4 stages of this boss. But when you play in the game, of course, depending on how often you can actually hit the enemies and avoid being damaged, do you have each and every section like sorted by themselves, and you shift these sections between each boss? So they're basically looping around, or is it a 5-minute version we're listening to straight on?
No, when you play the game, you have 4 different versions that loops themselves. And when you find
each and every stage.
Yeah, they just loop themselves, and when he takes the beasts back and gets a new one on the stage, that is when it fades to the next part.
Yep, that's nice. It's always nice.
Yeah, so this is like a summarized version I was thinking I should do each separate, but I think like it's fun to just have everything in one, just like a long journey.
Yeah, I understand. It's a good section in my opinion. But with this, I think it's time for us to move to the next song. We're going on a concert this time. That's nice, right?
Yeah, that's nice.
I really adore this concert, so I highly recommend everybody when it gets to town, get that ticket.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. So we're going to listen to Axel Van Gibson's concert. Axel Van Gibson's concert, and I haven't written that much more than rip and tear if Doom went classical or orchestra. It is deep, rich, and offers a wide range of rock, but more like a classical rock style in a modern touch. I like I talked to a little bit about while we were discussing in between these and listening to the song here. I played this boss battle multiple times. You're basically playing against this rock artist, going around with different kind of weaponry. He has like the Mjolnir's hammer, he has a sword, he has an axe, and like it's easy to say what he doesn't have almost. But it kind of ends in a huge concert, and this is why I guess you named it the Axel Van Gibson's concert. Even though you're fighting him in the beginning, you are listening to more of a concert in the end.
Yeah, that was the purpose for this boss too, and we did some testing and to see if it would work, because when you enter the room where he is, Evil Research, he's like super starstruck, because he's a huge fan of Axel Van Gibson.
Yeah,
but then Axel turns out to be a hero, then you have to fight him. But he's like a super famous musician in this universe, and so it kind of makes sense to make it like a concert. And yeah, like when you're halfway through like the second phase, he plugs in his guitar and he starts rocking out on the stage.
Yeah, and it's so nice. I just love the kind of things you guys did with this, music-wise, but also with what you can experience within this boss battle, because you have this like full-fledged concert with pyrotechnics and so on, but they become like an obstacle within the stage.
Yeah, and I hope that when people come to the second phase, that it's gonna be like, wow, what happened now?
Yeah.
What was it? So so yeah, we tried to like flesh it out as much as we could to make it like a rock concert.
The only thing when everything kind of blacked out when you enter the second stage, it kind of felt like it was already done before, because you have that, what was it, like that assassin battle And that one kind of used the same thing, but you used it from the beginning of the battle.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So it had similarities to that one. So I kind of felt like it kind of lost its touch when I saw that being re-implemented or
really? Yeah.
that they utilized it again. But it was such a nice touch that instead of him doing something to the stage itself, he just gets up in the background and you can't even fight him anymore. He's just rocking out and you just have to beat all his henchmen instead.
Yeah, he's just like, you have to fight him in a different way than you would do in the first part.
Yeah, it felt really nice. So in thinking about the track here, we have some other people here on different instruments as well. We have you on guitar, and we have Gabriel Pulcinelli. And then on electric bass, we have, or like I usually use, electric bass, because it's funnier. We have Pablo Arruda. When you're working yourself on this, I mean, you compose it as well, but this time you also recorded the guitar.
Yeah.
How does it feel to do a rock concert?
Yeah, it's I come from a rock background when I started playing, so. I was a Metallica and Kiss fan when I started out, so it felt natural to do that, like combining what I did before and what I do now into one thing.
Oh, that's nice.
So it felt natural to just take out the guitar and play, and it's fun to do it yourself too. To play something yourself, and then you can listen to it while you're playing the game.
I guess it's some sort of other kind of happiness to playing something, and on the other end having some fun composing something. I guess they're both kind of fun and lovable in each kind of separate way.
Oh yeah, they are. You have to use different musical skills when you're doing it, and both are enjoyable to do, like in their own way. And it's fun because you are able to, when you play it, you're able to be a part of the music in a different way, like you are in the music. Instead
you can't tell people, no, I want it this way or that way.
Yeah. Exactly.
You can't sit there. Nope, that was wrong. Nope, that was wrong. Why can't I be better?
Yeah.
Should I get somebody else to do this? And you did. Considering also the name of this character, when I looked at him, he really like reeks Viking, and it reeks of rock.
Yep.
Axl, I guess, is this like a reference to Axl Rose or something like that?
To be honest, I'm not sure, to be honest, but I think like his last name is because I usually play Gibson guitars myself. So
yes, Gibson is the guitar.
Yeah, I like the guitar company. So I think it just his name was, but Axl is. And he also uses an axe, so I think like
could be.
But I'm not sure. But that's a fun question.
Because I thought it was a bit funny. Because when one thing I noted down here as well was due to the looks and everything. And well, I know a lot of rock because I listen to rock as well. But I kind of got the vibe of Metallica that you were naming as well as a reference that you played before.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you can get your own kind of Metallica vibe out there by doing this rock song for this concert?
Yeah, for this particular track, we discussed it a bit because the music is so tied into the gameplay here, more than any other of the bosses. So we had to discuss a lot to just like find the right vibe, and I listened to so much different music to kind of understand what kind of music I should make.
Yeah.
for this one. So yeah, it ended up with him since he feels like Metallica with even how he speaks.
Yeah.
So I try to like find like a Metallica feel, but also something Viking-ish. Like I try to imagine actually myself standing on top of a mountain and just if what I was playing felt natural to play on top of a mountain, then it was the right choice.
So what is Viking about standing on a mountain playing guitar?
Yeah, that's
A very good question.
that's very good. I felt like standing on top of a mountain and seeing the Viking ships coming towards you. That isn't that,
So-
that's pretty Viking, isn't it?
It's an aspect of getting pillaged.
Yep.
Like they're coming to raid us. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good picture.
Did you have any other reference considering this song as well?
No,
Were there other games? I mean, as I wrote, Rip and Tear. I mean, it feels a little bit Doom-ish as well. Not
Yeah,
as like
probably.
gruesomely hard.
No, but but I can understand what you mean. Like the Doom soundtrack is.
It's very iconic, first of all.
Yeah. But he uses like 7-string guitars, like tuned down to the bottom, and
Death.
tuned down to death, like those lowest notes. But that wouldn't feel right. But so it's like a much higher pitched track. But I can understand what you mean with the Doom reference. That's it is, and it's kind of similar to it, since you're just when the other enemies comes in, you're just
Slaughtering them.
Yeah, you're slaughtering the enemies, and it makes sense.
Yeah, because I really adore this track because it really brings forth the classical orchestra that you really go through with the full soundtrack. So what I said in the beginning, like you really have this red thread throughout the whole thing. Usually when you have this type of game with so many different kind of characters and so on involved in this experience, you're usually bound to dip into different sections of genres, subgenres, etc. But it feels like you're still dipping in different subgenres, but it still feels like it is all connected. So I never feel like the music is alienating itself in any way.
That's good to hear. Glad to hear that.
But was this something you tried to strive for as well? That you wanted to have some sort of red going through everything?
Yeah, definitely. Because this was kind of a big shift. Because it had to feel natural. It could not be so different from the rest.
Why couldn't it be more of a contrast?
No, I think like because then you would lose the red thread. Because there were no like with Vladimir. That's since he's come from a different castle and has to have that humorous aspect to him. But Axel and Gibson, he is just like a part of the Heroes Alliance, and he is a part of the Heroes. So I felt like he must sound similar to the rest.
Okay.
But also with guitar, since he's a rock star.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was kind of like to try to incorporate the guitars and incorporate the sound of the orchestra, because I think if you took the rock band away from this track, it could be like kind of a similar track to the rest of the soundtrack.
Yeah. Definitely. So with that said, I think it's time for us to go into the last track of the week. Are you ready?
I am ready. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm definitely ready for this one. Because holy damn, we're going into Remageth's Showdown. Remageth's Showdown. Very interesting choice in the beginning of this track. It got a sense of a fanfare, which I actually did not pay attention to in any of the other battles with these heroes. But Remageth, he's the hero of the heroes, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Or
this is a very, very good point. That's because Remageth is the hero, like the ultimate hero.
The hero.
The hero. And but he's not present that much in the game. He's in the intro video, and also
when it kicks you out.
Then he kicks you out, and then you're doing a lot of stuff, and then you whisk him, and then you battle him. So you don't see him that much. So I had to kind of, how can I portray him being like this classical golden age Hollywood hero?
Yeah.
So it was just like a
AAA hero.
Yeah. So I made like a very short fanfare. To portray him being almost like this over the top hero. You know, those heroes that are just so good and everything. They almost.
It's almost like he has this choir as well. The track.
Yeah, he does. I think he does it in the intro video as well.
Okay.
But he's like the ultimate classical hero. So I had to portray him being that, but not. But I didn't have time or space to develop his theme more than just a couple of seconds in the game. So so he just gets like a short theme to let the player know that he's your classical Superman hero.
Yeah. So in a parallel world where you had the time to iterate, what was the thing you specifically wanted to iterate upon? Was it to increase the length of the track to be more bombastic and epic, or was there a certain section that you feel like, oh, I could have maybe improved this?
Like how the game turned out. I don't think there's any need for it, but if it would have been, then probably just make it a bit longer. Like he could have had his own theme, but the game does not focus that much on him like as a character.
Yeah,
just like something you're working towards too. So
exactly, without spoiling anything.
No.
Considering him being like the hero of heroes, he's still, like you said, is not present that much. He still feels like a side character to some extent.
Yeah, because he's not the. Even though you're working towards fighting him, he's not the focus. It's more taking your castle back from everybody, instead of that one final boss. And he's a good guy, so it's more interesting to see how the bad guys develop in the game. But he's a good guy, so he's good. And this nothing more to say.
But I find it interesting, however, because listening to this track in like the full extent of what it is, we've been talking about this multiple times, that hey, you're in this evil wizard's castle, it is his attitude and so on. But we have these tracks of boss battles that kind of reminiscence of these characters, or they're fanfaring these characters to a certain extent. But for Remageth's theme, even though he's a good character, it still feels like it's an evil track. It still feels like, to some extent for me, that it is this evil wizard's track playing, though we're doing these heroes. But we're back with this like more bombastic instrument, but we also have these string instruments joining in, giving it more contrast, almost a sense of hope.
Yeah, I'm glad you say that. That was my intention the entire way too. So if we take this track and like look at the different sections, there's it starts off with the fanfare
Yes.
kind of introduce the battle and to introduce the hero, and
Mm-hmm.
now you're fighting against him. And then there's just like a short action part,
Yeah.
and then it goes over to the main theme, like the theme of Evil Wizard.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just slower, but more epic and bigger, and so you're kind of fighting for your life,
Mm-hmm.
and the entire throughout the entire track, you will hear those trumpets doing like short fanfare,
Mm-hmm.
like kind of battling against the melody.
Yeah.
So it starts out playing da 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 da, and then you hear those trumpets doing kind of similar fanfare,
Yeah.
and
So
then
we're basically having the instruments battling each other as well, then.
yes, exactly. That's right.
That's
So
a really neat idea and detail, to be honest.
yeah, it's I try to make the instruments fight together,
Mm.
and so the melody, the main melody, is the old wizard, and the hero is the trumpets
Yeah.
and the fanfare-ish things. So they are constantly going towards each other, and sometimes they join together,
Yep.
but it's more like to portray their relationship and to give this battle a bit more story to it.
More philosophy to it. It's like,
Yeah.
is there really an evil and a good side?
That's right. Yeah, then that's right.
We're both the same coin.
Yeah, it's a very good point. Good point.
But for this track, was it hard? Was this the initial idea to have like these instruments battling each other to come together as well, or was this something you iterated over time?
This was yes. I just had to think like what did I actually what was my process here? But yeah, it was the entire time the idea of having something that kind of summarizes because this is the boss and you will now fight him, and let's just summarize what you have been doing.
Yeah.
So I tried to like make it feel like you've been working towards this and hearing the main melody in a different way now, because most of the other times in the game you're hearing it played like from a solo violin or solo
Yeah.
flute or woodwinds, but now you're hearing it like fully with horns just blasting through. So it is more of like the journey, like how he has worked towards his goal to get his castle back, and now he feels like more confident in
himself, maybe.
Yeah, in himself. Because because when he's thrown out, he's just like a small angry dude. With a lot of anger issues.
Takes life for granted, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. And I feel like maybe that could be like the moral of the game, that don't take it for granted, but work towards your goal.
Evil
I don't
stays
know.
evil.
Yeah, evil stays evil. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I think like since you're, I wanted it to be to feel like be rewarding to listen to when you're playing. Like now we have heard this melody so many times, but now it's time to like bring it back and just fight against your enemy.
Yeah. I, I, I'm almost sad to say that I didn't pay enough attention to notice it was the main theme you added in this one.
Oh,
I really adored like the track for this battle, but I never paid that much attention to notice. But this is also something I noticed that I usually do, and I guess a lot of other people might do this as well. I get so focused in a boss battle that
oh yeah,
I
yeah.
usually just get the overhead of it. And since we're going back and forth between this battle of the instruments and the melodies, I never really thought about that. Hey, this is actually the main theme that I've been listening to in a slow motion kind of vibe in the hub.
Yeah, yeah. But no, but I think like what you're saying is the case of 99% of other people too. That you hear the music, but you don't pay attention to the details, and that is fine because you're focused on anything else.
Yeah, unless
But-
it's bad music, then you will react to it all the time.
Yeah, or bad gameplay. Then you
Or bad
probably-
gameplay, yeah.
But
The music is too good for the gameplay.
No, but I think that this is the kind of stuff that's that's it's fun to discover after you're done. Like, oh wow, I didn't notice that when I was playing, but now I'm hearing it. It brings everything to a new level.
Mm.
First, I like the story itself of with the battling instruments.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been just like me paying attention to that, and everybody else
Yeah.
just listen to it, and that is fine, of course. But once you discover something like that, then it's just like mind blowing. Like, wow, it's fun. Like a cool little detail you have there. So I
This
think
could be like a hidden gem as well. You're not
Yeah.
noticing something initially, and then, oh, I really adore this soundtrack. Start listening to it, and then you see that this next level, because now you're not utilizing your eyes and finger coordination to beat the boss. Now you're just utilizing 100% of your listening skills, and you can just
Exactly.
take everything in.
Exactly, and I think that is the fun thing about video game music. That, like we talked about earlier, that you can remember things that like I remember this during this, and then you notice something new, and that new discovery brings something to the battle or whatever you did back then.
Definitely. Yeah.
It's fun. I think it's fun, and it's always really interesting to like try and analyze these things and to hear what is happening and how that is represented in your game.
And I personally love this kind of retrospect as well. I mean, you've been working on this soundtrack since 2020.
Yeah.
And I don't know for exactly how long you worked on this track. I mean, theoretically, it could have been done in 6 months, and then you haven't seen those tracks since. But you worked on a lot of different songs for this game. I mean, looking out on Spotify, you have 30 tracks on this album, and it's a lot of music. In total, you have music for 1 hour and 18 minutes, which is well worth any type of money, in my opinion here. But looking at this full list, everything ranges from just a minute to up to 6 minutes. Which one was of the songs on the soundtrack did you have the hardest time to kind of pin down and say, "Hey, I'm happy with this. Let's add it to the game now"? Do you have any specific one you remember?
No, I feel every track here is like a story itself, because
They're all complex.
no, but I remember doing the main theme, because it was I had composed the melody, but I had really hard time to find an opening for it. Like how should I start this track? So I think I like spent like 2 weeks and just figuring out how to start it. And then I played the melody from Jaws, and I just did it backwards, and there it is.
And there you have Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no.
God damn it.
No, but I felt like he I try to imagine him coming out from the distance, and you see him, but like you do on Jaws. But I just turn out the ability the backwards way, and just like see him entering wherever you're standing.
Yeah.
He just walks towards you, and then you go, "Oh, there's the evil wizard. Oh no."
Oh no.
But yeah, I think there's I remember doing the track we just listened to, Remigget's Showdown. I remember doing this and thought like, because when you're playing against this boss, you're at the final part of the game. And when I composed that track too, I thought like, oh, that also means that we're towards the final part of the development.
Yeah.
So I tried to like find a way to
get closure.
Yeah, to kind of close everything, and to how can I? This has been like a long journey for me to compose for this game, and like a long, like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Like how can I so it felt like as in the game, like it's towards to ending. I also knew that this is towards the ending of development, and we're soon done with this game. And there's also this is just like a fun side note, but the credits track, which is 5 minutes and 6 seconds.
Yeah.
It's a long credits, but I remember here they said we need music for the credits, and do you want to compose something specifically for the credits? And I said, yeah, sure. Yeah, we need. Like I said, I'm a huge Zelda fan, and the credits music there is always amazing. So I want to do something like that when you can, or Star Wars, like when you hear the themes being played again.
Yeah.
Like kind of like a medley. I want to do something like that, but they said maximum 2 minutes, nothing more than 2 minutes. And I and I started, and I said, okay, don't be mad, but this is gonna be longer than 2 minutes. And they said, okay, fine, 3 minutes, but nothing more. Then you have to cut.
Yeah.
And I just continued and said, sorry guys, it's 5 minutes, and they had to change the entire credits just because of me. They had to make it so much.
They just slowed everything down, right?
Yes, yeah, they had to slow everything down just because of me. So if the credits are too slow for you, that's my bad.
Well, you can push the credits button in the main menu,
sure,
and then you can just speed through everything at least.
But then you're not able to hear the music.
That's true. But then you get a fast credits if you want that.
I don't blame people if they want to just skip you.
It almost felt like you had that conversation when you go into restaurants, like, "Hey, what would you like to drink? A Coke, please." And you're like answering like, "Pepsi, okay?"
Yeah.
Like, can I get 2 minutes? 5 minutes, okay?
Yeah. It was like that.
That is awesome. No, but this has been an amazing conversation with you, talking about all the different work you did for the Evil Wizard, going through all the different homages, your thought process when you make the music, etc. So I'm thinking about closing this up. Is there anything else you would like to talk about surrounding the Evil Wizard before we close that bucket up?
No, I hope people like it. That it is a kind of like its own little thing with it. If you like the type of comedy, and so you have to like that type of comedy and type of game. But I hope people will enjoy playing it and had a good time. So we're excited to get it on PlayStation and Switch later this year.
Let's hope for that then.
Yeah, it's gonna be released like yeah, sometime this year. That's all I can say.
That's awesome.
And so we're excited for that. And I just hope people are having fun with it. Yeah.
No, definitely. I had fun with it. I am going to make like a small mini review. I usually do that when I play through games, but because of this episode, I wanted to kind of portray what I liked about the music and the game through the podcast before I made this mini review. Because overall, I had a really good experience with it. The only thing that I didn't like that much is there's a lot of text in this game.
Yeah.
And
like I said, if you don't like the comedy, then it's a bit hard to play the game.
Yeah, I love the comedy. It's just that in my opinion, they could have lowered some length of the conversation because it would still have something intact and humorous in it. So there were parts where it was a little bit too much conversation surrounding something that was going on, and I was just tired. I was like, I just want to play the game right now. And then I just skipped, and then I noticed, I skipped something important, and I don't know where to go now. Because I was just lost.
I understand what you mean, and the developers know that as well. That
so if they would do like an iteration of this, just trying to shorten down the text would just be more positive for them.
Yeah.
But that is like the only thing I had problems with this game.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was a nice action game. It was fast paced. It was nice playing around with the different magics and upgrading them and getting more combination magic that you get, like a third spell you can throw around. So it was just super fun in that sense. And boss battles were exciting.
Great to hear.
Hope I can sell this in to all the listeners as well.
Yeah. If you like dialogue and fun games, then
try something else. Play something serious, like Serious Sam. That's a very serious game. I mean, it has serious in the title, right?
That means it's serious. We're just naming things like what they are, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it would theoretically be unserious Sam if it was going to be honest.
Yeah, that's right.
But who would play unserious Sam?
It doesn't sound good at all. Unserious Sam.
Sounds very unserious, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that is the time for us to close down the Evil Wizard. And when it comes to you, do you have anything else you want to kind of throw out there? Are you working on any specific project that you might be able to talk about? Something you want to promote, etc.?
Yeah, I am working on a couple of things that unfortunately I'm not allowed to say that much.
Yeah.
But
we have a couple of things at least.
Yeah, but there's a couple of things that there's one that I'm very excited to be.
Can you say if this is video game related or not? Or
video game related? Yeah.
Okay.
And the like what I'm most excited about is that I played one of their previous games.
Ooh.
And then
those things is always fun.
Yeah, and then they sent me an email and asked if I could compose for their next game. So that's
I guess that's kind of like a dream come true, right?
That is totally. And I saw the email and I just had to turn off the phone and just do something else because I was just in like a shock.
Yeah, no, I can understand that feeling.
Yeah, so I'm working, but I'm not allowed to say anything more than that.
I understand.
But I'm also working on a survival game called Caster Shore.
Caster Shore.
Yeah, when you're stranded on a deserted island and you are to survive there and to build your base and to
sounds like a game that isn't that linear like the Evil Wizard. I guess you're working more dynamic with music then, or something similar maybe.
Yeah, that's it's really fun because I don't think I have worked on this kind of music before, or it's like this is survival game, so you can do whatever you want in the game.
Yep.
So there's nothing, no looping music. Everything is just like a music track, and then it's done.
Ooh,
And
that's
then
interesting.
yeah, and then like it's more like a song, but without vocals then. But
Yeah,
like it's just a song, and
nice.
so it's a different way of working, but it's really fun, and it's more like folkish music, and I'm able to record myself much more in this process, and
That's
to
really nice to
do
hear as well.
yeah,
I guess it's a bit of a change of pace as well, when you can interact more with the music yourself as well.
yeah, it is, and especially with the uh, linearity of it, that
Mm.
you can record something and you can reuse it, but in a different context,
Mm.
in a different way, and you are able to let the music uh, develop as it wants, but
Yeah.
you don't have to find a way back to the intro again, but
Mm.
you can just let the music develop, like
It
after
kind of
this
will grow up over
yeah,
time
yeah,
as well.
yeah,
Then.
yeah. And like after this section, let's see what we're gonna add there. And then
Mm.
you can just end up like after 4 minutes, you can end up in a totally different place
Mm.
that you wouldn't expect. But it's still fine because you don't have to come back to the intro again. You
Yeah.
can just let it end where it ends and let it
That is
develop yourself.
awesome.
Yeah, so
It
I'm
feels
having
more unique as well.
yeah, I'm having a lot of fun working on that. It's a really fun challenge.
Hmm?
So we're going into early access. It has been delayed a bit because the developer wanted to add more stuff.
More.
Yeah,
Hey,
and,
feature creeping.
yeah, and I think it was the right decision to delay it. Because there has been so much that has been added. Like,
Okay.
because the thing is with early access games is that they don't always have that much to do, and they feel like they're not done. But he wants to have a complete game, and then
Okay.
add things to it.
On top of that later.
Yeah, if you play the first version of early access that will release
At one point.
at one point, maybe this year,
Yep.
then you will be able to play like a kind of like a final game. You will not think, this could have been better if they did that, this and that, but you'll be able to play like a game that's as polished and has a lot of content, so you will not get bored.
Oh, that sounds neat. Sounds really neat. So with that, do you have anything else you wanted to add? Maybe can people get in contact with you in any way?
Yeah,
If they have any questions.
Yeah, I am mostly active on Twitter, and you can find me just by using my name, or I usually try to use my tag HAAKON D, Haakon D, or you can just search my name, and you can find my website, which is haakondavidsen.com. Or you can,
and of course, for information, all these links and everything, I will post them in the main post at videospelsklubben.se as well.
Yeah,
so people who are interested and find it hard to write this while they're listening, feel free to get the links from the main post.
Yeah, and I hope if people want to see like a different side of me, that you can visit my YouTube channel. Because
and get the VGM covers.
Yeah, and you can listen to your favorite soundtracks done in a different way, but everything is played by me, or at least until this point.
Yeah, as long as you feel challenged.
Yeah. Well, I am feeling that.
That's great. Oh, this is awesome. So, is there anything else? I'm just gonna close up with the last kind of speech that I have.
No, I just want to thank you for having me on the show, and it's been really fun to talk with you, and to be able to talk to someone that kind of knows their stuff, know. That I am able to go like deeper into to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And be able to discuss it. So it has been great. So thank you for having me.
This has been your spotlight on my podcast, so no worries. This is all on you. You are making the show for me. So big thanks to you as well.
Absolutely.
So for everybody else, other episodes of the Gameable Audio, you can find those on our homepage, videospelsklubben.se, on Spotify or in your closest podcast app. Feel free to follow and comment on one of our social medias, either on Facebook and Instagram. Just search for Gameable Audio and you'll find it. And it's super nice if you guys will just give that follow or just do that comment. It helps a lot for other people to find this podcast. You can also support this podcast for future content and quality upgrades, but also in the end, future composers by becoming a Patreon. And our current awesome backers that we do have today is Daniel Onemark, Lars Schenström, Titti Schenström, Kevin Wikström, and Mike Björkholm. And links where you can either buy or support Haakon here, you'll find those in the main post at videospelsklubben.se. And in 2 weeks, we're going to have a very much special episode yet again. But this time it's going to be only me talking about songs with vocals. And everybody who's been listening to the podcast for a longer time knows I'm a sucker for these ones. What about you? Do you like songs with vocals for video game music?
I think it's really fun to include like songs into a soundtrack. It adds something else, like you know, for, if it's on the ending of a game and then someone starts singing like a melody with lyrics.
Yeah,
it feels like it just
becomes emotional, right?
Yeah, it's more human.
Yeah,
and and there's probably some lyrics that represent something that happens in the game,
yeah. But there's a lot of different tracks and so on that has vocals, openings, endings, like you said. But we're starting to hear this more and more in normal tracks. I mean, Street Fighter, we have River City Girls and so, etc. that has vocals in the middle of battles and so on. And for me, it feels so weird to some extent, but I freaking love them.
yeah, but I think like because video game music hasn't the tradition of being recorded live. It started with chiptunes, and it's not up until recently that like big orchestras has been playing the soundtrack and recorded live. So it's I think it's like a natural development of the technological aspect of video games.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. So, considering of this theme, do you have any specific song that you're thinking about when we're talking about songs with vocal?
The first thing that I'm thinking of is the opening of Sonic Adventures 2 with Escape from the City.
That is a good one.
Yeah, that is amazing. Like I still remember like my first time when I started playing that game. I hadn't played any Sonic games before, but that was my first. But I knew of the character and knew what it was, but that was my first game. And just starting that, and it just like this rock tune just pumps out, and you're just running down the hill, and it was just amazing.
Ain't you skateboarding at a certain distance as well?
Yes, right. Yeah, you're
just dropping out with a
from a helicopter.
Is it a skateboard or is it
I think like a snowboard thing? Yeah. But imagining that, like you're opening a video game and you just throw every crazy idea you have, and then it's that track as well, just singing along. I think that must be the best way of opening a game that I ever played.
Definitely. The track is very rocky, and for some reason, the first like dun 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 dun, dun when it starts out, I don't know why, but it feels such like an anime opening.
Yeah,
I don't know if you agree with me.
But I can agree with that. I think it's probably on purpose as well. That
definitely.
They wanted like to.
I mean, having is it Crash 40 if I remember correctly? That in-house band that does all like music for Sonic nowadays.
I
I
can't
think it's
remember.
something like crash something. At least they have two numbers at the end.
Yeah. But I know there's that band. They have a couple of other tracks too. But
Yes.
that one and Live and Learn. I think that's
Oh.
towards the ending of the game.
Yeah.
That one.
There's a lot of great tracks.
Yeah,
a lot of
it's
great tracks.
amazing.
One for me, when it comes to something with vocals right now, one that I think about like instantly is the Nier Automata soundtrack.
Oh, I haven't played
that
those
one.
games.
They are so magical, and so for some reason the songs feel so angelic to some extent, both the Japanese one and the English one, and you have both of them within that game.
Wow.
It's not just that they made something separate and it's like, hey, you can listen to in the English version of this. No, they implemented both of the versions in the game.
That's cool.
So it's so freaking great.
I have to play that. I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom like the entire so much now, like from the release. So I haven't really played anything new in the last.
Nier Automata is not new, so it's
no,
okay.
but I think it's time for me to start playing other games as well. I have
it's
to,
soon retro, so don't worry.
Have to move on. I have to move on.
No, but I definitely recommend Nier Automata. It's a great game. Takes a lot of time if you want to get all the different kind of endings and so on. But definitely, it's a great game.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, but yeah. That is an episode like hell. We've been recording this for 2 hours and 40 minutes. How does that feel?
I am so thirsty now.
Then I'm not going to hold you up on this anymore. I want to thank you all for listening in. I want to thank Haakon for joining me in on this episode. And everybody out there, I hope you have a great weekend. And with that said, see you all guys next time.
Goodbye.